Welcome to the Work-Life Balance Podcast. I am Kara.
And I am Maggie.
Together, we're a power real estate team with the Bajetti Partners in Nashville.
We believe that the hustle culture of today's driven entrepreneur who lives and works in Middle Tennessee requires balance.
Hey guys, so just giving a little warning to the episode that you're about to listen to. It is definitely of a sensitive topic that is very emotional and touch homes to a lot of people. So we just want to give you a heads up that if you are sensitive to trafficking, domestic violence, any of these topics, that it's going to be a raw conversation. And if that makes you uncomfortable, it's probably a good time to exit stage left. But we hope you stick around because we really want to save lives. And this is an amazing topic. Hey guys, welcome back with Maggie and Kara and the Work-Life Balance Podcast. Today we are super excited to have Roland Serna with us. He has a podcast called The Truth Justice 23, and he has so much to share today, and I just can't even wait to get started. So thank you so much for coming over and sitting with us today.
I was very excited about this. Actually, I woke up early this morning and I went, man, this is going to be great. Just so excited.
Oh, same for us.
I think because y'all were so excited about the idea of doing this, and I just thought, man, if they're excited about it, I'm totally excited about it. So
we're pumped about it.
We are. So get straight to it. What is your mission?
So my mission basically is this, and let me start from the beginning. So in 21, I lost two brothers in 37 days due to the hospital protocols, the doctors and all that stuff. And you guys, the stories, if I'd go into the stories, you guys would just be absolutely amazed. But they killed two of my brothers in the hospital. And I wept, I moaned, I complained, I groaned, I whined, I cried for a year. And the whole time I'm thinking, there has to be a reason for this. You just kind of have to know somehow, some way, this just wasn't a happenstance. And after the first year, I'm just sitting here just kind of going, I've got to find what this is all about. And a friend of mine was doing a podcast, and I told her, I said, something tells me I'm going to do something because my two brothers are not going to die in vain.
That's right.
I said, they will not die in vain. If I take my last breath after I put them up on a pedestal and everybody knows the reason, then I'm okay. So I just kind of got to going, I know I'm going to do something. And guys, it's like one day God just shook me and stood me up and he said, it's time. And I'm like, okay. I started my first podcast on my first brother's death anniversary.
Wow.
So September the 16th of 22, I did my first podcast. No idea what I was doing, didn't care. I just heard this little voice say, I'm going to make sure this happens. So I say all that to say this. I already knew at that point when I started my first pod that I think I had 20 people,
Sure.
And I just thought, he said, don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. Okay. So I am sitting here thinking, and I said, there has got to be a really big purpose for this. And this whole time, I'm feeling this energy of this, something's going to happen that's going to be tremendous. And the whole time, I'm just telling everybody, my brother's not going to die in vain. They're not going to die in vain. And I wanted to get justice. So I started my podcast, Truth Justice 23, because 23 has been my favorite number my whole life, and my favorite psalm is Psalm 23. And I woke up one morning and I'm thinking, what do I name my podcast? Honest to God, I read a little Sarah Young book every morning and some Dr. Charles Stanley scripture every morning. And that very day, the name of his little daily verse was Truth Justice.
Wow.
So I named it Truth Justice 23. So anyway, I say that, long story short, I started the pod trying to get other people to realize that their loved ones were murdered in the hospital. Okay? The quack that had my brother in the hospital, he was ready to leave after the fourth day. And he came in and said, Mr. Andy, we're going to keep you another 10 days. I didn't know at the time what the other 10 days meant. 10 days drip of remdesivir.
Gotcha.
Okay? It starts shutting down your organs. Long story short, there was a nurse there that said, Mr. Serna's ready to go home. The doctor said, no, we're going to have to put him on remdesivir. And then I think we're going to have to ventilate him. Y'all ready for this? He said, first I have to go Google how to administer the ventilator.
Oh my God.
He punctured an artery trying to administer the ventilator for my brother. So
I'm going to cry. I'm sorry. That is awful.
Yeah.
So I'm here in Nashville. My brother's in Texas with the family. I'm the only one here. And, I was livid. I was absolutely livid. And then they transferred him to another hospital. They called us at 4 a.m. because we were going to get a second opinion. They called us at 4 a.m. and they said he had a double heart attack. Can anybody explain to me what a double heart attack is? So anyway, come to find out, 37 days later, I lose another brother that was a bodybuilder. And I'll show y'all a picture after the show because you guys ain't going to believe it. They told us he really wasn't in that great a shape. So
wow.
Then I got into the pissed off mode. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I'm going to do something. So then I said, I know you're going to fill me in on what my purpose here, because a lot of times, and guys, I've been very blessed. I've just been very blessed with health and everything. But you have this emptiness of, why am I here on this earth? Mm-hmm. And he and I, we spar a lot. I never win, but we spar a lot. And I just said, I know.
We're going to clip that. I love it.
Mm-hmm. And I said, you have to let me know why I'm here. And guys, I could show y'all, tell y'all, it's absolutely amazing how I got here. But I am listening to a YouTube video, whatever, and these two boys are driving down the street to go get something to eat. And right next to them, a car pulls up, and there's a little girl in the back seat. And she did the...
I was telling you the story yesterday. I was kind of
did the help me signal.
Video.
Okay, she did the help me signal. Those two boys just found out what it meant 2 weeks prior.
Incredible.
Timing's
Saved
everything.
their life.
It's amazing. So they called law enforcement and they stopped the car and they rescued this little girl. And I saw the pictures of her giving them hugs and how, where was she going? What plane was she headed on? What country was she going to wind up at? Now, here's the hard part. And it's hard for me to talk about. 27 to 35 million traffickers worldwide a day. Wow. That's not the hard part. There's a 5% chance that once they're gone, you get them back. It's not going to happen.
No. Yeah.
The hardest part for me that got me more than anything when I started going down this rabbit hole, I found a lot of rabbits and I found a lot of holes. But the one that got me the most, as young as 2, as young as a year, and all these women, even men, are getting raped up to 20 times a day in a 24-hour period.
Just, ugh.
There are
So
366 million videos just in the United States of raped children. That's in the U.S. That is more than one video per person in the United States of children getting raped.
Oh.
This is not worldwide.
And being consumed, too.
Exactly.
And people are paying to consume that.
Exactly.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Speaking of consumed, 20% of these children are child labor.
Yeah.
20% of those die and they're discarded like dogs. There's another 10% in there that are getting eaten. Eating. Now,
the craziest part for me is none of this is publicized. None of this is on the media. None of this is on the news. It's just statistics, and you probably found it because you went down the rabbit hole, which not a lot of people do.
Because they're all involved.
Yeah.
All of them.
Absolutely.
Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in Gitmo and no one's been arrested?
Good point.
Y'all think about that. She's been in prison for over a year. Why is she sitting in Gitmo for her crimes, and the people that really committed the crimes besides her are out free, nowhere to be found? So, these statistics, 84% of all traffickers are women and young girls. Okay? It is
Traffickers or those being trafficked?
I say traffickers as the ones being trafficked.
Okay.
And 84% are women and young girls. So years ago, I wanted to start the wonderful Rescue Foundation for abused women, children, and animals. And I've always said, if I drive down this road and I see somebody beating up a child, a woman, or a dog, I'm either going to get my butt kicked, I'm going to kick somebody's butt, or I'm going to jail. Yeah. One of the three, because it's not going to happen on my watch. And I'm no Billy Badass. I'm just telling you. I'm not going to drive on and just kind of go and act like nothing happened.
No, God, no.
If more people got involved, this wouldn't be happening.
Right.
So the next question is, how did we get here? How? When I found out what this meant, and that little girl got saved, and then I heard another story about another little girl on a plane where the flight attendant was walking by, and the little girl kind of did this, and the guy was sitting next to the window, and the flight attendant knew what it meant, and she backed up and she said, "Hey, honey, can I get you something to drink?" Just starting a conversation. And she said, "Can I get you some apple juice or something?" And she said, so she already knew something was going on. She said, "You know what?" She said, "Every flight, our pilot picks a passenger to come to the cockpit so they can take a look and everything." She said, "You're our winner today." And the guy said, "No, she ain't going anywhere."
I just have the chills. I'm
do
sorry.
too.
It's
I
just
do
like,
too.
whoa.
And she said,
It's wild.
And she said, "Oh, sir, it's okay." She played it very nonchalant. She said, "Oh, sir, it's okay. I'll bring her right back." She said, "The pilot just loves to show, people the cockpit and so forth. So she's our winner. I'll bring her right back." And I guess the guy thought she didn't really realize anything. So she took the little girl. They locked her in the cockpit. Of course, they landed the plane and they arrested that asshole.
Oh, amazing.
And so I heard those two stories, guys, and I went, oh no.
Yeah.
If one person can be saved because of this, it's over. So I started the Help Me the Rescue Mission, what I call it. And so I am educating.
Yes.
I am educating.
I love that.
What this means, okay? It's on both sides. Guys, we are looking at decals. We're looking, listen, every Jumbotron on every NFL basketball, Major League Baseball, after every inning, before every game, 5 minutes, after every game, 5 minutes, halftime. And incredible. Everybody is going to know if I take my last breath, and everybody knows that this means help me, and we're rescuing any and everybody that we can. That is my mission.
That's your mission.
And we're going to try to get every FedEx with a decal, every UPS with a decal, every DHL, every taxi, Uber, Lyft. I want stickers on every restaurant. I want coasters on every table. On every table, I want a sticker. Every single entity that I can think of is going to know what this means. So, and I want to say this. The Canadians Women Foundation are the ones that originated with this Help Me sign, but I can't get a hold of them. In case one of you are out there listening, please contact me. Anywhere, anyhow, get on Truth Justice 23 and find me, because I want to talk to you. If you're no longer doing it, I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to run it back and forth from every end zone that I can until everybody knows what this means. So the education on this is, why doesn't every school know? Why doesn't every child? All the police officers and all the sheriff's departments that we've asked, they don't have a clue.
Yeah.
They don't know what it means. I told you guys a while ago, I believe just in the little time that I've been doing this, maybe 1 out of every 5,000 people knows what it means.
You're
going to
kidding.
change that.
Yeah,
We're
that's
gonna
insane.
change that. Well,
because you don't know what you don't know.
No.
And you can't help people if you don't know.
But it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And that's an easy thing to teach all of our children.
1 second. And the thing that amazes me more than anything is we've got our teachers teaching what gender, what pronouns, what kind of kitty litter you've got in the bathroom so your fur can, can go use in the bathroom and so forth. Instead of,
for all you that don't like this episode, you can go somewhere else. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna pull any punches. If you
keep
guys
going.
log
No
me out on
sugarcoating.
Facebook, then I get the message.
Be right there.
But this is reality. This is reality. And listen, I'm really a nice guy, but if you have anything to do with sex trafficking or whatever, I swear to you, I will find you somehow, some way. I'm going to make sure everybody knows what this means. Every child, here's the thing. Everyone's talking about all the children need to know. All the adults need to know, so when somebody sees it, they know exactly what it is. Okay?
Exactly.
It can't just be It's kind of like saying, well, only this certain race needs to know. No, every single person on the face of this earth needs to know that this means help me. Yep. That's it.
I actually just told, taking on what you just said, I just told my older kids, because, they're 18 and 16 and they don't think they're going to get trafficked, and there's a good chance they're not. But I said, if you're on the freeway and the little person next to you is doing this out the window, I need you to understand what that means so that you can get on the phone or you can run that person off the road, or whatever the hell you need to do, get that baby out of that car. And so I was and then my little guy I told you earlier, who's 13, he's already seen it on TikTok. And so is my husband. So whatever you're doing, it's picking up steam and it's rolling. So let's just keep keep pushing it. It's
you guys don't know how excited I was to be here today. I don't know y'all, but we met for a reason. And I was as excited to come in here today as I was going to Chattanooga last week to do a couple of TV shows.
Oh, we appreciate you.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. There was something about your excitement that you wanted me to come do this show with you that I thought they're real. The message is going to get out far and wide. I'll tell y'all right now, whatever you guys need me to do, I will do.
Same.
Okay?
Same. We've got you on this too.
We are looking for ambassadors in every state. Listen, I want videos of tribes in the Amazons, in the Brazilian jungles, knowing what this means. I want them holding up a piece of paper or doing a video that this means in their language and in English. Because if they get trafficked here into the United States, it's got to have the same exact meaning. I want to see videos far and wide. I want to see little children in tribes that know exactly what this means. Here's the thing. We all know what this means. We all know what this means. We all know what this means. Right?
It's nonverbal communication.
We all know what this means. Why does not everybody know what this means? Why?
Oh, they're going to. Well, those little girls did, the examples you gave, and I'd love to know where, I know you don't know probably, but like, how did they know that?
Somebody had to have taught them.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy too, is that is the audience that really needs to know what it means. The ones that need to be able to use it are the people that need to know what it means. And it's like you said, it's not being taught in schools. It's not being taught anywhere. And that's because there's so many distractions all the time. So many distractions to cover it up. And like you said, it's the people that are running it. The reason that it's not being in the media is because that's who's controlling it. And it's so, so, so sad to watch.
While I was in Chattanooga on the TV show, I got like 3 ugly, threatening phone calls.
Really?
I'm sure you did.
And I told them, I looked them right, and I said, you do not scare me. You will not deter me. You will not. God's already told me this is going to be unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a holy roller. I'll just tell y'all right now. Y'all hear me talk about God and Jesus and stuff. I'm going to tell y'all right now, what he's done in my life is absolutely amazing. And I know now why I was born. I know. I thought it was to be in the music business. Whoop-de-doo, right? No.
You had a bigger reason.
And then he took 2 of my brothers, and then he went, if I took 2 of your brothers to save 2 billion people, that's what we're going to do. Okay? And that's where I'm at. I'm, like I told you guys a while ago, I'm no Billy Badass. I'm just somebody that heard these stories, and I went, if these 2 young girls got saved, we can save 2 billion people. We can. Guys, the torture that these kids are going through, the videos that I've seen, the sodomizing. Have y'all seen the little children with the dark eyes, the panda eyes? That's from being sodomized over and over and over. They're getting raped up to 20 times a day.
Can't even. Oh my God. And then the fact that you would get threatening phone calls from what the creepers that are doing this, those are the bad people that are calling you and saying that you need to shut it down. Really?
So think
get
about
addresses.
I tell everybody this. I just gave you some statistics, right? About being raped 20 times a day. Please close your eyes.
Oh God, do we have to visualize that?
That was your child.
Yeah, no. And
that was your sister. That was your mother. That was your...
Oh, no. Yeah.
Listen, okay. I don't throw around trauma like that, but I've been a witness to domestic violence and child abuse, and all of that. It is serious. It happens every single day to people that you would have no idea that it's happening to. And it's so important for this message to be spread for the people that need to use it, to be educated on it and know that there are people that are going to help them if they need it.
Let me tell you a scarier statistic. You've got somebody in your neighborhood that's probably got somebody in their basement right now.
Oh my God. I'm freaking out.
Oh my God. I'm going to cry.
No, I'm being serious.
It's like, I'm not laughing because it's funny by any means. I'm super nervous about that.
Reality starts to slap you in the face, correct?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I throw this out to everybody, and I've got people going, oh my God, I never thought. I said, call your sheriff department, call your police, and find out where your child registration pedophiles are in your area. Yeah. You're going to find one over here, you're going to find one here, and you're going to find one in your family. That creepy uncle, that creepy aunt or whatever. What the amazing thing to me, girls, is these women that are assisting these pedophiles in doing this. They know what it's like, and they're assisting this. The numbers are staggering. I'm telling y'all, they are absolutely staggering. Y'all want to know what the real pandemic is? We're just talking about it.
Yeah.
It's not this stupid COVID and crazy. It is child and human sex trafficking.
Yep. Here's the thing, too. It's in, Karen, I know this because we have psychology backgrounds, but it's called the bystander effect. And for people that don't know what that is, I experienced it the other day, and I'll just throw this out here. So I didn't even tell you about this because I cried about it. So, and this is with animals, not with children, but there was a guy outside of my apartment, and I had just taken my dog out to use the bathroom, and I might cry telling this, but he had his dog, and it's a beautiful German Shepherd, probably maybe a year old. And he was standing outside, and I walked my dog inside, and I heard the dog yelp, and I was like, what the fuck is that? So I peeked my eyes out the blinds, and I'm not joking. This man picked the dog up by his collar and slammed him on the ground, kicked the dog. It was like yelping. It's outside every day, and I just started bawling. I just started crying. I didn't know what to do. I called my boyfriend. I was like, oh my God. I was by myself. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know what to do. It's a big guy. What am I going to do? You know, that's the thought you have. But it's like, I need to get my ass kicked or kick somebody's ass or die over it, because that's something I'm willing to die over. But it's like, you get so nervous when you see something like that, and it just takes you back. By the time it's over, and by the time you're like, okay, I want to do something, it's over, and you can't do anything about it.
Now imagine that being a child.
Exactly. And
let me tell you, it's happening. Guys, I saw a video.
The fact that there's so many videos is totally freaking me out. The fact
you don't know about it?
No, I do, but I'm not Googling that stuff by any means. But I do know people get off on that stuff, and it's freaking weird.
I have to. It's
fucking weird.
Ticked.
Weird.
It keeps me so
that keeps
off.
the fire burning by watching them.
Listen.
Oh gosh.
But I saw a video.
Oh my God.
Just so you guys know, a boiled 2-month-old baby on a plate that a Chinese man was eating.
Oh my God.
Eating. So y'all know about the adrenochrome, right? The blood drinking. Oh dear Lord,
is that a real thing?
Heard about that?
I mean, I have heard about it, but I thought it might be a
thing?
myth. Ooh.
I've heard about it, but I didn't know. I thought it was for cultural rituals and stuff.
Bill Gates owns stock in Heineken because they have them in the barrels, in the kegs, the adrenochrome blood. Watch all these Hollywood celebrities that are looking like they've just aged 40 years in 5 because they cut their adrenochrome supply off. They're drinking, they're torturing. There's a video of Hillary Clinton and her assistant cutting a little girl's face off to get the adrenaline going, and Hillary Clinton put her little girl's face on there.
You gotta be kidding.
No. It's called frazzle drip. The 8 police officers that saw the video on Wiener's laptop, 7 of them have committed suicide. Wow. Yo, listen, this is wider, deeper, higher than you can ever imagine.
Yeah. But this is what we're doing. We're getting it out there. We have to spread this. We have people, if they don't want to Google it, and I totally understand that because it's totally frightening, but it's just getting this message out and realizing this is not bullshit. This is happening everywhere. And like you said, your neighbors.
There's stuff happening right here, everywhere. Right now, right under your nose. There are neighbors walking outside waving at you and say, hi, how are you doing? They've got a child in that basement, or they've got a woman in that basement.
It's so fucked up.
I'm telling you.
It's so messed up. How do you even, I could not even imagine being somebody like that and walking among society and just talking to people. How do you even live with yourself? That's just
because
awful.
They obviously aren't there mentally.
Imagine that woman or that child or that little boy or whoever doing that to somebody, and they just keep walking because they did not know what it means. Oh, hi, how are you? No, this means help me. I'm going to keep showing this over and over and over. Please spread this word. Please contact me with any questions of anything whatsoever. We are on a mission, and we're the cool thing is, like I told you guys a story a while ago about a friend of mine that had that school meeting with fentanyl.
Yeah.
And they included the help me deal, and they made them do it over and over and over. The entire school now knows what this means. And they told you got to go share it to everybody. So it's going to spread like wildfire.
As it should. Can you kind of talk about how, because you do keep mentioning the fentanyl and how that bracelet.
So this bracelet right here, I hooked up with a group called the formerfedsgroup.org.
Okay.
And what they do is they're helping us get justice for the hospital protocols, the deadly hospital protocols, and the deadly and injured vaccinated people.
Okay.
So this is legit. There is the medical symbol. It says allergic to remdesivir, fentanyl, Velcro, and it's got just a couple of other deals. They cannot cut this off your arm. If you go into the hospital, they cannot give you remdesivir. Yeah. If my two brothers would have had one of these, they would not have given him remdesivir. It is a federal crime. So I order a lot of these from the Former Feds Group, or you can get in there and order them and wear them. If you go, anybody that goes into the hospital, it is a legitimate medical bracelet. It was actually, the idea came from a doctor on our Former Feds Group that said, y'all need to do this because this will save somebody. So about a month after we started getting these out there, a life was saved because of this bracelet.
Incredible.
Because the first thing they wanted to do, guys, and the stories of the survivors from this hospital protocol, unbelievable. You guys wouldn't even, you would not believe it. You wouldn't believe it. So I heard a story about a woman, and I contacted her. So that's how I got involved. I'm telling you, if I get something in my heart, it's like,
get out of the way.
Part in the Red Sea. I will get there somehow, some way.
Good.
I don't have any kids. I've never been married. I've got 42 nieces and nephews. And I swear to you, if one of them were touched or injured, I will be like, what's his name on Taken? Speaking of a movie.
Yeah, it's
a great movie.
I was actually going to bring that up. I'm glad you did.
Mm-hmm.
That movie, Taken, can you imagine being that friend, looking at your friend get taken, and then being the father on the phone knowing your daughter just got taken? Mm-mm. It's happening every single day, 1 million times a year here in the United States.
Yep.
And I think people need to realize, I know the statistics say 85% females, but little boys are at risk too. So they need to be very cautious. Keep your little boys close by too. Yes. And treat them just like if it was your little daughter that you're worried about.
The amazing thing is
scary.
How bold they're getting in daylight. If you've got a kid in a cart, there's video after video of them just taking the kids out of the cart and running outside with the car already waiting, ready to go.
Yeah.
If you are walking to your car and you're pushing the buggy and you're on the phone and your kid's behind you, 3 seconds, they're gone.
Yep.
5% chance you're going to get them back, people. 5.
Yep.
That statistic is haunting.
That is haunting.
Because pretty much when they're gone, they're gone.
They're gone.
In American Airlines last year at a Dallas Maverick game, the father was sitting there watching the game and his daughter got up and went to the restroom. He didn't see her later until he saw her on a video being tortured.
Oh.
She got taken when she went to the restroom at a basketball game.
Well, they're everywhere. They're especially at those kind of places where children are at.
And where it's busy, right? So there's such a large crowd, nobody's going to notice.
The Super Bowl is the #1 sex trafficking event of the year. They arrested 350 people on Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow.
Okay, you've got the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, the Belmont. You got the NCAA tournaments coming up. You got hockey. You got soccer. If they get away from you just for 2-3 seconds, they're gone. You've got to pay attention to where your kids are. You can't let them go play on the toy aisle by themselves. You will not see them again. You've got to be careful if they're talking outside to their next door neighbor or whoever. You have got to be careful. And people are not.
Well, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say the fucked up thing about that is that you want to let your kids have a little bit of elbow room, and that's growing skills, right? Like they can go to the playground. I remember those milestones with my children. Like, it was like, they could go a little bit farther, and you kind of let the leash out. And now it's like, no, you really do have to be a bubble baby. Watch them on every move. And I mean, there's things I look back going, I would let them ride their bike around the neighborhood, not even thinking, or at the campground when you're when you're camping.
Growing up, we used to not lock our doors either.
Correct.
I know.
So now we have to live in this frightened world,
especially in the South.
And that's what it is. It's all fear porn. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Listen, I watch video every day. Every single day I watch, and I pay. I don't know how to do it. Well, now y'all know why I'm single and don't.
That's going to be not a great first date.
My gosh.
What I was going to point out, though, and I think is really, really important to point out, is it's not always men doing this. Like, we always teach, like, our daughters and stuff. I'm not a mom, but you teach your children, hey, watch out for the white van and the scary guy. But it's women taking these children. It's other children taking these children and luring them, and women in the bathroom taking your daughter and everything. Yeah, because they can be bought.
Exactly.
And not only that, they're not necessarily being bought, but they're being forced to do it.
Or they're getting paid too. Believe me, these that are, what was her name that was helping in Hollywood, that celebrity that was...
well, I thought you said it earlier, Epstein's right-hand girl.
Oh, no, that's Ghislaine Maxwell. There was a girl in Hollywood, an actress that was helping Harvey Weinstein. Lure all these young girls in. Oprah, these 14-year-old girls. I mean, that were
making them think it's okay.
Oprah was raped as a young child, and now she's over there recruiting these young girls to be with these sick individuals, these pedophiles. They're trying to legalize pedophilia. You guys,
I saw
we
that.
are so close.
I thought California may have lowered that
and it's
age
so
limit.
crazy, and it goes back to the distractions. Nobody knows, and it's just like the whole Roe v. Wade thing too. Like, everybody was watching freaking Johnny Depp on trial over some bullshit, and they were overturning women's rights at the same time, but nobody was noticing because they were so worried about who was going to win a fucking domestic trial that didn't even matter, and was half of it was fake anyway.
Right.
And that's why they do it. Look over here, not over here.
Exactly. Happens every day.
The crazy thing about all this is that we haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes of this. I mean, we've sit here and talked about 30 minutes now, maybe.
Yeah.
They are harvesting these organs of these children that they no longer need. Once they are dying from being raped so much, they're harvesting their organs before they die to sell their organs. A liver, a kidney, a heart, $150,000 in the black market, easily. They're harvesting these organs, and they're discarding the bodies to McDonald's and Burger King and stuff. It's in the meat.
Oh.
I just feel awful, and I have a pit in my stomach for being so uneducated. Like, honestly.
Do you not think that some of the stuff you're aware of, and you just maybe you don't have children, so you kind of throw a blind eye to it a little bit?
I think probably because of that, and I think that's
and you're
probably
older,
a lot
and you're
of people
not probably a super target. Maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe they do take older ladies too. Maybe we are a target, but I mean, I've definitely heard a little bit of almost everything you said, but I thought a lot of it was just maybe embellished, like what you just said. That part, yeah.
Carol,
so that's
and next level.
And they are, and the ones that, I know this sounds horrible, but the ones that are still, they know they're not going to make it much longer and so forth or whatever, they eat them. They eat them. Human consumption. LA's got 2 human meat restaurants in LA.
No.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
Are you, where you find all these, like, are you on that dark web thing? Is that where a lot of this stuff is coming out of?
No, it's out in public.
So you're seeing that, like, we could look this up.
No, they've got 2 human meat companies in LA right now. Did y'all not see the video with the Jenners eating the placenta? Did y'all not see that video?
No.
Oh my God, we're gonna become really good friends, you guys.
Okay.
We're gonna become really good friends.
I would love to be.
Because I am telling you, it's absolutely sickening what they're doing. There is Prince Charles about 10 years ago. I've got his quote. He was thanking the lady that put the party on at this real risky, high ritzy Hollandale farm that they were at, and he said, I want to thank you for everything, and I want to thank you for the wonderful, wonderful gentleman that we ate. He said, oh, well, he said, that poor Danish boy, somebody had to be eaten, and I guess some of us just had to eat, were made to eat them. And it's a quote. It's quoted. This is happening every day.
And it's been going on for a long time.
Oh, this has been going on forever. Why do you guys think JFK was assassinated?
Oh, now you're on my husband's page. He totally has a conspiracy on that.
Oh no,
one. So they were just
it's all
talking
true,
about
but
that.
it's all coming out.
Yeah.
All of it. All of this is out in the open. They've been doing this.
I haven't
If y'all,
heard about that.
Y'all need to go watch some movies. Soylent Green. Go watch some of these movies. The Shack. Okay? I mean, go watch how wide. Oh, this little. Have y'all seen The Shack? Y'all need to go watch this.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
And I've had a couple of people say, how could you talk about promoting The Shack? They portray a God with a black woman. And I'm like, really? You're going to miss the point about how easy this child was to be abducted in front of 80 people. And you're going to point out that this movie had a black God as a woman.
Priorities, like, come on.
So,
what are you watching
Again,
for?
back to distraction.
But listen,
Exactly.
go watch the movie. How easy this is happening on a daily basis. All these movies are right in front of our face. Have y'all paid any attention to what the Simpsons have put out there that 35 years ago that it's all come true?
All coming true.
All
we literally
came
just
true.
spoke about that yesterday as well.
All of it. All of it. Now, it's just not the Simpsons. It's every single movie out there. Pretty much they're telling you what to do and what they're going to do.
That Simpsons thing is actually very wild. Like even the
wild.
pandemic, what they had talked about years and years ago.
It's to a T.
The mask and stuff. Yeah. Like what did that guy know?
Now,
Something we didn't, I
Something
guess.
we didn't.
do y'all remember all these missing kids on the milk cartons?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was our generation.
Y'all ever wonder why all those kids were on the milk cartons? Now we know. They were getting plucked like feathers. And probably 99% of them never made it back home. None of them. So, where do we start?
That was the
Education. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is powerful. We have to not pass up an opportunity, even to those people that you think might say no. I don't care if someone tells me no 1,000 times. It's 1,000 no's getting me closer to the next yes. That's how I look at it. And the amazing part, guys, is these police departments and these sheriff's departments that go, why do we not know about this? These principals in the schools going, where did you hear this? Why do we not know about this? And that's the one question I keep asking over and over and over. Why does nobody know about this? Nobody. And the few people that do know, obviously aren't sharing it much because after being around for 10 or 11 years, don't y'all think this would have already spread?
That's what I was going to ask you. Is that Canadian group, was it about 10 years ago that they started that? Okay.
It's
So-
crazy because I just now
You're
heard
just
of it
now
a-
hearing
a
about it,
while
and it's
back,
obviously
a month
picking
ago.
up on TikTok a little bit. And you've been doing it for 2 years now?
No. I just
how long
started.
is this-
I just started 2 months
This has been 2
Okay.
months?
since I started this Help Me thing. Yes.
Okay, and you've already picked up that much steam.
Yes.
I mean,
It is taking off.
just look him
Good,
up, and you look him
fantastic.
up, and you'll see how much steam we're talking about. Because the people that are watching your lives on Facebook, it's thousands and thousands of people.
They absolutely are so blown away, and they're just kind of, you know what I'm noticing is it's like how many pissed off people are because they didn't know or pay attention, and how many of us have actually seen this from a child or a woman and we did not know what it means. Gosh. Could we have saved that life? Could we? And I tell people say this all the time. I think I might have seen it. I'm like, you got to let the past go. We move forward and we go save the ones that we can. We educate the ones that we can. And we do not take no from an answer. If you go to your high school, if you go to the church and the church says, no, I don't, you need to find another church.
I agree.
If your pastor or your preacher is not willing to educate the congregation and what this means, you need to go find another church. Mm-hmm. I don't care. And if your child's going to that school and your principal says, no, we don't need to be, you need to find another school or you need to find a home school.
I think
Guys,
that's right.
If people never think it's going to happen to their child or their wife or their mother or whoever, their young boy.
Until it does.
Until it does. And I tell them all the time, please be educating instead of trying to find your loved one. Instead of wasting your time out there trying to find your loved one, please go waste your time educating. Because I promise you, it's going to be a lot better than you knowing you're probably not going to see that child or that wife or that sister or that daughter or granddaughter again. 5%, guys, that's not very big.
That's not very much. Well, and they always say, it used to be the stat, if you're taken from one location to the other, like the second location is when you're gone. That was like an Oprah thing back, I don't know if you remember that, a long time ago. If you ever get taken from the second location, you're gone. So they're taking you from your front of your house And they're putting you in a car and you're just going straight to the port.
Or they'll if somebody saw that car, they've got another car a half a mile down, and they'll swap that car, and then they'll swap another car, because now which car is it?
Right.
So either way, you're gone. But let me tell you, I've got one of my callers on my one of my listeners on my pod, and she contacted me right when I first started my podcast. And once I started getting involved in this sex trafficking thing, and I admired Tim Ballard, and I wanted to contact him, and I'm just not ready yet. But there's a woman on my podcast that literally sent me a message and said, "Can you call me?" So I called her. I believe she's 82 now. She got sex trafficked, and they took her to the Canadian border, and they sold her to the Italians. Okay?
Wow.
For 2 years.
This is global.
This is...
Oh, hugely global.
Listen.
I think that's where it's really going. It's Americans are going too.
And she told me this story, and I got to tell it. And she told me it was okay, but they took her in a room. There was 30 men. 30. And more than half of them were dressed as police officers, because they didn't want her thinking she could go to the police, because she didn't know who was a police and who wasn't. That's how they scared her. They gang raped her 6 times, 5 guys at a time, one right after another.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
I mean, well,
And she survived. And she's telling me this. 5 guys at a time, 6 different times, 30 men.
and she survived.
So she's got a book coming out. They're making a movie of her life, and we're in constant contact. And she's now out there spreading the word, and she's out there. You know, I'm gonna go meet her. I haven't met her in person yet, so I'm gonna make sure we meet. We've already talked about it.
Wow.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Us guys can't fathom that. We just can't.
Well, we can't fathom that as a female not ever having that experience either. It's very
It just makes your problems
that big.
small.
Yeah.
Guys, I would rather you kill me. I would rather I die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if she feels the same way,
At
but
the
I
moment,
know
I
if
bet
that
she
was,
did.
I know if that was me
her
in that
spirit-
situation, I would just be like, please kill me.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Her spirit is
That's
so
it.
adorable. It's just absolutely amazing. And I said, God, you brought an angel. You know, I want to meet this angel. She is absolutely so positive. I guess this is what I'm supposed to do, Roland, and this is what I had to go through. My God, I just cannot imagine. I cannot imagine. No. And here's the thing, guys, and this is where when I say stuff like this, I hope women understand. If you're a woman, you've already got the body parts to endure, not to endure, but to at least know it's probably not your first time or whatever. These 6 and 7 and 5 and 4-year-old kids don't. They don't. And I'm not trying to say it's okay for that to happen to a woman, but these children from 2 years old, a year old.
No.
20 times a day, guys. A day in a 24-hour period. How do you survive something like that? And then I tell everybody, forget what just happened. How do we rehabilitate these children and these women? They got to wake up the next morning going, what just happened to me? Day after day after day after day. What are they living with? Where you and I are out there going to Disney or going to shows or concerts, they're living in hell every single day. Was it my fault? Did I do something that I could have stopped this from happening? What could I have done different? No, it's not your fault.
And that's why it's important that there is tools for them to actually move on from it when this experience does happen and they're saved. There's got to be a program that helps them at that point too. So I think this is a chain of events, because we are going to save these children, but if they are experiencing it, there has to be something that's going to get them back to society that's not damaged.
And that's where hopefully very soon my Wonderful Rescue Foundation comes in. Because I want to buy these old malls that have gone out of business, turn them into apartments. We rehabilitate women and children there with an animal. It's unconditional love. Now we're rescuing animals as well. I've got access to a lot of stuff where we can create jobs. because I'm in the hotel business. I can furnish the entire complex because of my hotel business. And we put a gate around the entire complex where the exes can't come and they can feel safe. We teach these kids how they can, with the animal, you know, that unconditional love. We take them to circuses or whatever, you know, to go and try to get their mind off of this stuff and start educating them and whatever. But it's a task.
It's a task.
It's a task.
But you're willing to take it on. And I think the army of people behind you, it's going to be more people than you expect that are going to be so powerful and help you push this. I mean, you've got 2 advocates right here that will do what we can. In fact, once I get some of those stickers, I'm going to go straight down to the kids' schools and be like, I want these blasted on the windows. The kids need to know in the bathroom stalls.
Yes.
I mean.
Well, I've got all these pictures of all the stuff that we're looking at. And it's the bathrooms, the back of the stalls. It is coasters. It's koozies. It is on the windows of these restaurants. Listen, the Jumbotrons. I mean.
Amazing.
FedEx, Uber, UPS, all of these people. We've got to meet with these people and say, would every one of you supply one of these to put on all your trucks, all the taxis? And it's in bright yellow so you can see it from a distance opposed to black and white. Any and everything that we can, I mean, we can put these stickers at and hand out stuff. We're going to make cups. We're going to make golf balls. We're going to, I mean, I don't know how yet, but it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And like you said, if anybody gives you any slack and doesn't want to promote that, blast the shit out of them that this is a, I mean, if it was just, let's use it, say it was like FedEx, which I can't imagine, but what if it was like something like that? Never supporting them again, because clearly they've got some demons in their closet.
And here's the good thing. Now there's 2 podcasts here.
Oh, and there's going to be many.
You got yours,
more.
I've got mine. You guys sound so awesome that you guys would be, if I threw something at you, you would go, we're going to put it on our podcast as well.
Absolutely.
And vice versa.
So what I want to do, if this is okay with you, create for us which we can do it here while you're here, a little commercial, and we'll put it at the beginning of all of our podcasts.
That'd be amazing.
And advocate for it once a week. This podcast comes out once a week, and we can blast it every week, once a week, and which is not the extent that we're going to go to, but
it's a good
helps.
little 15-second blump of what this is.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That would be really
fantastic.
Cool. Okay.
And I do mine about 5 days a week, and now I'm doing a Q&A because there's so many people that you guys wouldn't believe. I don't want to say it's all just uneducated.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that they're not smart. It's that they're just uneducated.
Right.
And I had this girl that I told you that I met and was like, what makes you think you can do this? And I said, did you know about it before me? Well, no. Well, then now you know because of me.
Yep.
If you can know about it, and listen, I don't care if my name's never mentioned. I don't. I'm not into fame and fortune. I don't need any popularity. I'm not to win a popularity contest. If somehow, some way, down the road, somebody comes up to me and says, because of you, my child was saved.
Oh, that's everything.
That's it. That's the goal. That's the whole mission.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me to know how easy it is for things like this to happen. I think I've told you this story before, but I'm going to share. I was coming home from my boyfriend's house to my apartment in Knoxville. Knoxville is a huge hub for sex trafficking. Huge. There's planes that land in Knoxville on a daily with kids being trafficked.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah,
yes.
daily.
Oh my gosh.
Daily.
Okay.
I mean, they busted a plane that had 80 children on it in Knoxville. Being trafficked. So that's just a little blimp of that. But it was like 4 a.m. we went to the bars, like went out for a night. I was going back to my apartment and I was almost out of gas. And it was at a really like sketchy intersection, but I would not have been able to make it home if I didn't stop there. And at the red light, there was a really nice white Porsche, and I made eye contact with the guy that was driving the car. Didn't think anything about it. I had my dog with me, and I just got out of my car, started pumping my gas. Well, next thing I know, my car's like this, driveway's over here to get out. The car blocked my car like this. Pulls in, I immediately go get in my car, and he gets out of the car, and I like literally run. I put the gas thing up really quick. I go get in my car. This man comes up to my window, and there's a light that's shining, and there's 3 other people in his car. And I just made eye contact with him. I didn't think anything about it, and he was at the red light. I thought he was just going to go on past. Next thing I know, I'm getting blocked into this gas pump at 4 a.m, and I had my dog with me. I was freaking out, and he comes over, he taps on my window, like tries to get me to roll it down, tries to get me to open the door, and starts asking me how old I am, where I'm going, where I'm coming from, why I'm out so late, all of this. And it's a big guy. Like, I had no idea what to do. So I just threw my car in reverse and got the hell out of there.
Yeah,
but I was blocked in.
Yeah.
And he followed me for a little bit, but luckily I knew where I was going, and it was some back roads.
Scary.
So I knew how to get away. Like, I took different streets to try to get away.
Yeah. And he was following you the whole time?
The whole time. It was so scary. I called my boyfriend. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm just going home. And it was one of the scariest moments in my life. And that's just one experience from one person.
So I was going to say, can you imagine how many weren't so lucky?
Exactly.
Some girls would have rolled their window. Hey,
totally
hi,
naive.
You know, hi.
Yeah. And what's crazy about that is Kara knows this. I always carry a gun. I've always carried a gun. I grew up in the South, so it's just a thing, right? It was the one day I didn't have my gun with me. I left it at my house because I knew I was going out to the bars, and I don't want to I don't want to drive, and God forbid I get pulled over and I have a breathalyzer of a 0.01 over, and I have a gun with me, right? No. So I left it at home, and the one day I left it at home is the day that happened.
I tell women on my pod, go to the range. Y'all better start figuring out.
We need to do that. You need to do that with me.
You need to go to the range, and you need to start practicing. Listen, if it's that one time that saves your life, because I'm telling you, talk to some of these girls that have survived the sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. It is a lifetime of hell. Yeah. It is. Yeah. There's no getting over it. There's not enough therapy. There's not enough. Can you imagine this little lady that got gang raped by 30 men in one time?
And they just barely keep you alive, too. Just barely keep you alive.
Well, and I'm sure they've got you drugged and everything else at the same time. So back to her real quick. So she's 82, and this happened when she was
younger, yes.
Young. So it'll be interesting when you meet her. How many years did it take her to just feel normal again, or if she never did feel normal again?
Yeah. I couldn't imagine.
There's another lady, Catherine O'Brien. Y'all need to look her story up. The sick thing about this is they did her and her daughter.
Oh, hell.
Okay? And what they wanted her and her daughter to do to each other. Now, you think about that. Mm-hmm. You think about being sex trafficked, and you think about being raped by a man or whatever, and then they've got your daughter as well, and they want you to
yeah. Could you imagine?
Sick.
And then if you don't, what happens to you?
Right.
You know? And it's like, as a mom, like, you would rather be the one to do it to your daughter than some random guy that's probably going to hurt her way worse than you would.
Kara,
like, what do you do?
This goes back to the Gerald 4 days.
Oh, my God.
What do you do?
I mean, guys, this has been going on for a long time. And it has been in our face. We just haven't been paying attention.
And the only way to stop it is really just to help prevent it.
Right.
There is no stopping it if the big ballers are the ones running the show.
So it's amazing.
That's scary about that.
It's amazing you say that, because like I told you, we have a conversation a lot. Me and him, I'll tell you, I never win. But we have a lot of conversation, and I said, God, I don't know that I can handle going and digging these children and these women out of tunnels, out of apartments, out of hotels, out of shacks somewhere in the country. I said, that's my biggest fear, because if I see something like that as I'm pulling somebody from I said, I just don't know that I can do that. And he said, you don't have to do that. You got to prevent them from ever
going there.
So it was like a really sigh of relief for me, and I went, I will give you 1,000% if I don't have to go pull them out of. Now, if somebody called me right now and said, we got to go rescue, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it. To do that on a daily basis, every day, all day, and to see what you see. Mm-hmm. Guys, some of these Marines and some of these military people and some of these police officers, they're taking their own life left and right because of what they've seen and what they've pulled out from underneath these tunnels. There are 14, 15, and 16-year-old kids coming out of those tunnels that have never seen daylight. Never. They've been bred underground tunnels to do this for the sex trafficking, for the organ harvesting, for their meals. It's and you think about it, it's all demonic. It's absolutely sad what's going on out there. It's so sad.
Well, and we just need to do our part.
There's nobody really doing anything about it. You know, I say nobody. There's some people that are involved, like Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel and stuff like that are really getting involved and going the underground, taking care of what's going on in the underground and rescuing. Maryland. Do y'all know who Madison Marquette is?
I don't know these people. I'm going to have to
Madison
start
Marquette was trafficked at a very young age as well. And she was so confused. She became a porn star, a very popular porn star. She has exposed the mega churches, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland, all of them involved, all of them. She escaped and went to a church, and the guy at the church called her trafficker. They were in it together. And he took her back. So here's an interesting story. She was being sex trafficked at a party, at a very elite party. And there was like 4 other girls there as well. Whitney Houston is there. Whitney found out what's going on. She found out, and she started screaming and fighting and was so mad about what those girls were going through. They rushed Whitney out of there. Madison could hear Whitney outside her door because Whitney was trying to get in.
Yeah.
Yes. 2 weeks later, Whitney's dead.
And it doesn't just happen.
Because she would not be quiet about it. And she was asking way too many questions. 2 weeks later, Whitney's dead. And then her daughter died the exact same way. What did she tell her daughter? So Madison is telling the story. And she could hear Whitney screaming out of her lungs. She was trying to, we got to save him, whatever. 2 weeks later, Whitney's dead.
And then the daughter, I think the same thing. She was going to expose something too.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So it's in our face.
It's in our face. We're just not paying attention to it.
No, and when I tell you that it's your next door neighbor or I'm telling you, that's how close it is. When you talk to people, say, do you have any sex registry in your area? I don't know. Why not? Why don't you know? Do you have kids? Yes, I've got 4 of them. Then why don't you know who is in your neighborhood?
Yeah, well, what is it called? We have it I used to use it all the time in California. It's what's the sex, or you can find out if you have predators in your neighborhood.
I don't know. I just searched
There's several sites.
But there's one for real estate, and we can just plug it in, and it tells you every single person in whatever neighborhood, whatever vicinity.
It's like crime mapping and stuff.
Well, they have crime mapping, but this is called. I will tag that name because it's super important to know, and it's very creepy. So, like, I looked it up on our old neighborhood, which was the golf course community, and there were houses in there. And there was a time when they had to put a thing in front of their yard.
Yeah.
I don't think that happens anymore. They're supposed to say, I'm a registered sex offender.
Right. Guess who's making those laws for them not to have to do that?
Right. So, yeah, we all know.
Yeah, I grew up with one of my closest friends growing up with the woman that lived right beside her. It was her husband was the registered sex offender. And they had cameras all around the house because they were like, this is not happening to my kids. And if it is, it's on camera for sure.
Sure.
So it's just really scary, and it's every single day. Every single day. That's crazy. And it's just, instead of the video, we're just going to put the sign for the whole thing. Just the sign. Let everybody know it.
That?
John Podesta.
Stop it.
What is that?
John Podesta.
Ugh.
They're all criminal, evil pedophiles. All of them. Every single one of them. There's pictures of, what's his name with the Who? Doing, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff. Y'all want to know why Andrew Bourdain got killed? He was next door at a hotel on an island. They were vacationing, and he is in the next room, and Schumer's in there. Adam Schiff's in there with a boy. A week later, Andrew Bourdain's dead.
He knew too much?
He saw too much.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is I am going to scream this from the freaking mountaintops.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and it's not only because I'm a mom, but I'm an auntie. I'm, this and that and the other, and I don't want that to happen to anybody's child. Or adult. You're a 23-year-old woman, and you just almost were in a situation, that was last year. I remember you telling me about the guy. So it's happening to all ages. So we need to be aware.
There's no prejudice. There's not.
No.
Because I'll tell you right now, if they couldn't use you, they'll use your organs. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. They are the organ market, black market is, guys, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Y'all want to know why they want to keep these abortion clinics open?
So they can keep the little babies that are being
They're harvesting the organs.
I don't even know what the word, extracted.
Y'all look before you buy another bag of potato chips, you need to read what's in there. They're grinding up all these crickets and grasshoppers and bugs and mixing it with the grain and the flour. Listen, they're trying to kill us one way or another. And they're trying to make pedophilia legal. They're trying to say it's a preference. Not pedophilia, it's a preference, a minor preference.
That's what they're calling it?
Yes. And they're trying to pass these laws because they've all done it. And they know that if they pass these laws, well, you can't get me because it's a law now that it's legal, and it's not.
Right.
How do you become so sick and twisted that you have no regards for human life? How? Devil.
That's the devil.
Demon. Mm-hmm. They're out there. I mean, you think about it, it's all wide open. But if you guys can help me share this, help me sign all over, I'll get y'all some stickers.
Oh, I'm blasting them everywhere.
I've got about 500 of them coming tomorrow, but we're going to order. I'm going to get coasters. I'm going to get.
It's too important not to.
Everything. Cups.
Okay. Well, we'll tag those. We'll tag all that onto our podcast and all of our social media. And just to kind of wrap this up, because this is such a passionate subject, and I can feel your passion, and it's not going to be forgotten. Like, it's going to be just starting. So, to wrap it up, like, our podcast is about work, life, and balance, and this 100% is the life part, and we need to keep these lives alive. So whatever we need to do, we're here for that.
And if y'all have anything you guys want me to say on mine, I'm on 5-6 times a week. I'll be more than glad to share something that you guys would like for me to share on there as well. And it's going to take, as a community, and I mean like the whole United States and the whole world coming together to make this happen. And that's why I'm looking for ambassadors in every state. Yeah. And if there's 5 in every state, so be it. If you couldn't go to Knoxville and someone in Knoxville needed someone to go talk to them or whatever, if I'm here, I'll go wherever. But I'm talking about, like, Texas is so big. Mm-hmm. If somebody is in Denton, Texas, and somebody wants Brownwood, Texas to come by and speak, if we've got somebody over in that area, they can go in and do whatever, or go educate, or go do a school assembly, or
school
whatever.
Assembly would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a great way to start.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that you make them practice it over and over and over. It's kind of like shooting the finger.
Yeah.
If a little kid, if you went to an African tribe or Jamaican tribe and you did the middle finger, I guarantee you they're going to know what it means.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like, it's not meant to be abused. Like, it is actually something that's very important and saves a lot of people. So I think it's really important for kids, because they are immature and they don't know any better, to not do that as a joke. Like,
for sure.
It means a lot to a lot of people. So I don't want it to, like, get out there and people start using it as a joke and just, you know, because like, little kids do that. Like, they just think it's funny. They don't understand the seriousness of it, but it is just only serious matter.
And that's where the education comes. Now, think about this. I know you guys are ready to call it. Let's just say you've got a big old sign on one of these windows right there, a big old sticker. Let's just say this was a restaurant where they're going to pick up the buy. And they see that sticker on that window. Or they see it on the tables with some koozies. And they're going to know that little girl or that boy or whatever already knows what that means. It could deter them. Mm-hmm. Guys, that one life makes all the difference in the world. Mm-hmm. It just does.
It does. And I appreciate you for saying that you would say something on your podcast about us. But it's not about us. It's about the bigger picture. It's about everything. Like, we want to
you'd be surprised. Y'all might have a message and go, Roland, we need to get this out.
Yeah.
Well, this is an important message for us right now. So.
For sure.
But you guys made my day. I'm telling you, I was excited about getting up this morning and coming here for whatever reason. I just knew when you approached me at the bar, I could tell that you were very serious. And it was like, there's somebody here that really wants to know about this. And that stuff warms my heart. Because
absolutely.
It's real. It's very, very real.
It's real. And we're going to do what we can.
Thank you so much.
And you're so great. And I hate that this is coming from a place of pain for you, but the mission is bigger than anything. So
the pain's going to be there whether I do something or not, right? It's been there.
Yeah.
And so if I can do something in my brother's honor, then it makes it a whole lot easier. It really does.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
Thanks, Roland.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You're so welcome.
really
last
appreciate
year,
it.
what's your, tell everybody your Trust Justice, or Truth Justice, how are they going to find you?
So you can find me on either Roland Serna. I haven't transferred everything over yet to Truth Justice 23.
Okay.
And once we do, I'm going to keep announcing it, but you can find me on both. Send me a message if you've gone through something, anything, question. If it's really important, send me your number. I'll pick up the phone and call you. I've already done that to a lot of people. I don't mind calling and other people having my number. But it's Truth Justice 23, and you can find me on Facebook for now. But eventually, I'm going to have my own everything. I'm just waiting to get everything situated and all the equipment and so forth. But right now, we're getting the word out.
Wonderful. Take a look at his page. Like you said, ask him questions or whatever, and educate yourself and educate all your family and support this amazing cause and mission, and let's save some lives.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks again, honey. I
You're
appreciate
so
your time.
Insurance should never be a hurdle when purchasing a home. It's one of the most important purchases of your life and should be handled with proper care.
Whether that be your first home purchase or the next addition to your portfolio, reach out to the Sally Insurance Agency with Shelter Insurance for a free consultation so you are confident that you are protected when it matters the most.
Call Shay and Sally at 865-671-6451.